gosh, what happened? What's good, unapologetic gang? So this is Avenida Chapultepec. And it's like one of the main bars, clubs, busy streets, hangout here in Guadalajara. But locals, we say Guadalajara. I love this place. Tons of vegan spots in every area. But I want to talk to you guys about our generation. Not just, hey, we're traveling, but is our generation as asleep as everybody's saying? Are we really that asleep? And I want to say no. I want to say I'm actually quite impressed by a lot of the things that the conversations that we're having. Again, we have to think about the fact that we're not actually normal. We have to think about the fact that we are unapologetic gang. We are a bunch of people are outliers. We are different. We're obsessed with self-growth and education. But for the majority of people, unfortunately, yeah, everybody is kind of they're out of the loop. They really don't know what's happening. But I will tell you this, in a lot of places, I just recently came from traveling in Texas. And in Texas, we had a church conference, and I was impressed by the level of like expression, by the level of interaction, by the level of conversation I was having with most of these people, because I was like, what? Oh my gosh. Like, I was actually really happy. One of the men was a teacher, finance. I think it was finance. I can't really actually remember, but I do believe it was a teacher. Hola, gracias. I think he was a teacher of finance. And I just remember thinking, wow, everybody here is so quote unquote woke. He was riding a bike with his friend, and they were talking about the stimulus and how the stimulus and what's to happen and the gold standard. And he was just saying, hey, I'm a high school teacher. And I was so impressed. I was like, bro, this is so cool. Like, this guy, this guy and his friend are sitting here at a bar after riding their bike in the middle of, I think it was Dallas. I was in Dallas, Texas, heading back to, I was in Dallas heading to where I was staying, which was like Fort Worth for the last 2 nights. Anyway, and it was just, he was having the most incredibly intelligent conversation, and I was completely impressed by him. I was just like, this guy is on it. He knows, he's aware, he knows, other forms of hidden currency. But I want to say, for the majority of the people, you know, the millennial generation, unfortunately, if you're not in the unapologetic gang, if you're not in the woke gang, if you're not in the group of people who are aware that food shortage is about to come, supply shortage is happening, you're just not really you're not in the know. You really aren't understanding what's happening. And so for this, I'm really honored that most of us do know. And I don't know, sometimes I struggle with telling people about it, or just keeping it to, you know, the inner circle. Why do I struggle? Sometimes because when you tell people, I think in the right setting, it's good for them to know. And I tell almost everybody I know, like, okay, taxi driver, tell friends, tell people I haven't talked to, oh, hey, yeah, by the way, how you doing? Yeah, you know there's something coming, right? Oh, hey, how you doing? You know, things about to be a little jacked up, right? So I try to tell as many people as possible, but I recently talked to you guys about my experience in the vault. And I really liked my experience in the vault, but most of the people were also quite aware of what's going on, because we are researchers. These were also entrepreneurs, or people who have a different mentality or think a different way. So this was important. Like, wow, I'm really happy that a lot of these people are awake. They're in the know. They're knowledgeable. They're willing. And some really just don't know. I am very appreciative for the knowledge that I've been given and for the YouTube channels I subscribe to. You guys know I'm huge on YouTube because I feel that YouTube is the world's freest online education, and I'm not really for schools and the way that it's done. I think it needs to be reformed. But our generation now, this generation, us as millennials, we are having such like a deadlock in terms of education and understanding what's really going on. You know, I was seeing a lot of people who are working like inside of the system, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're just kind of like, oh yeah, I heard about that, and that's it. I mean, we've already talked about this before, right? We've talked about the difference between activation and validation, and most people are just like, oh yeah, that validated what I thought, and they don't do anything about it. Oh, that was interesting, and all they think is things are interesting. They don't go bother to research it and then take any action. So that's what I'm seeing. You know, the truth is, it's not just the generation, it's just the population in total. It's a truck. It's the population in total. I want you guys to wake up, okay? I mean, honestly, most of you are woke, but by staying awake, it helps us to understand exactly what is going on and how we can move forward and help and transform things and our situations. So yeah, I really do feel like this. You know, it's asking me how I felt about this generation. Most of us, my inner circle, we're awake. But if I was around a bunch of people who weren't awake, who weren't attuned, I would feel lost. I would feel just as confused. Get some people of God, start praying, ask for revelation, start renouncing things so you can get deliverance of different so you can get deliverance, okay? That is so important. So yeah, to those of you who want to wake up because you're already here, you're ready to know and learn, things are gonna get good. They're gonna be really bad, but don't worry. Stay kind of abreast on information, stay in touch, and step into the light, Caroline. Step into the light. All right, guys. I really don't know what we can do, you know, to wake up a lot of people. Some of these people who are working in bank securities, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's like an ending job. I mean, that's just like, that might work for about 5 minutes, but they're calling themselves working in securities, and it's not really doing much. I mean, the banks are about to fail us pretty soon. Some of these people just had children. So all I can say is sometimes it can be nice, and other times just a bit dangerous, just because there's not so much thinking about future insight. They even went to school for it. So, you know, we're fighting a lot of a little archaic beliefs about school systems and how it's supposed to help us, and just kind of trusting the media's word or just what anybody tells us without actually doing proper research. So I want to put this in your head and hearts that it's really important that you guys wake up, stay awake, be around people, have a community, because just thinking like this on your own is not really going to help a lot. You have to really think in advance, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll see you guys. Bye.